Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Hey besties, it's Behind the Shade, and we gotta talk about the interview with Carlos King. He sat down with Toya Bush Harris this week, and Eugene Harris joined later. We got to get into it. So, besties, we find out that today is Saturday. They taped the reunion yesterday. So funny how this interview came out on Thursday. Carlos be knowing what he doing, child. You know he friends with the girls. So they discussed Quad and King's breakup because you know that hit the internet last Sunday and the crowd goes wild, right? So Quad and Toya are friends now. And you know, I understand the Mariah of it all back in the days, you know, season one and all that. But it just seems to me like the personalities of Quad and Toya, I've always thought that they should be best friends. They're the younger of the crew. They got the same spicy personality. They both like nice things. You know, it just seems, for the life of me, I just think that they would fit better as best friends. And not because neither one of them are doctors, but you know, I just thought they would be friends. And I just, for the life of me, don't understand why they can't get it together. So, in this first 6 minutes, Toya got me scratching my head because she says they are friends now. Then we'll get into it. So, next, Heavenly said that Quad and King been broke up. Like they been broke up. Like this is old news, right? And so throughout the process of when they met King, she has became friends with him. You know, he's real close to Eugene. Toya feels like, you know, they were broken up during the season. And she said, if you pay attention, you'll see it. And we already do. We saw it when she packed for the trip. He came in there, what did you pack it for? Why are you wearing that old timey dress? Why you that? And then before that, when she was taking those shots, he made a reference to like her and her kid. Like it ain't gonna be his. So, you know, then when he went down to the barber shop, he's telling Cecil and Eugene, like, yeah, she want this baby, but I already got a daughter. Like he feels pretty content with one kid. Like, you know, he knows the hardship of parenthood and it's expensive, right? So she said, if you pay attention, you'll see it. I'm like, we do, girl, we do. Toya just feels like they broke up already during the season on the show. And so she would like to know, like, Carlos asked her, are her and King friends? And she said, just about as good as of a friend as me and Quad. Like, you know, I don't have his number, but I know how to reach him on the Instagram. Like, him and my husband are friends. Like, that's how friendly they are, you know. And what she means with Quad is, you know, they could be friends today, fall out tomorrow, not cool the next day. It's up and down, you never know. But King is friends. So no, so Carlos asked, you know, can you be friends with a friend's ex-boyfriend? Like, is the girl code broken? And that's what she says. I don't have his number, you know, but you know, you still follow him on Instagram? Yes. Toya's like, I don't unfollow people. I ain't that petty. You know, if I don't care for you, I will mute you. And I'm like, me too, girl. Me too. So we find out, y'all, Simone has unfollowed Jackie recently. You know, they filmed the reality, you know, the reunion. Um, People have been telling her that Jackie is not her friend. And when Jackie appeared on Watch What Happens Live, Jackie was still defending Heavenly. And you know, Simone refers to Heavenly as the devil. And she told her, you keep defending the devil. And so, yeah, She's done. And it's so just, mm, you know, Jackie and Simone have been friends for a very long time. Like they go back even before the show. Toya said when they got on the show, they was saying, "Ain't nobody gonna break us. Ain't nobody gonna break us." But what Toya says is, she says, she defends Simone and says Simone was not unhinged at Angel's party. She says she removed. They used the word removed. Simone removed Heavenly's hand off of her and said, "Do not touch me." And then she said something else about, "I don't play. I ain't no fake. I ain't gonna be sitting here faking and pretending." That's not unhinged. And so the question is, do you think Jackie is a good friend to Simone? Toya says what I've been saying. Like Jackie be dropping the ball a lot. That's what Toya said. She says she has so many slip ups, and Jackie wants passes for her slip ups. And I'm like, there it is, plain and simple. That's exactly how I feel. We were having this conversation this week with a few friends. They like Jackie. And I'm like, you guys, the aesthetics of Jackie is cool. You know, you see her working more than even Simone. You see any of the other doctors, you see her always with the patient, and she wants that. You remember her as the one that always comes home and always charting, and oh my gosh, she fought, the C. I don't even know. Can I say can't? Yeah. And then, being cheated on by, like, all of that. Yes. But if you pay attention, she be quiet. She be on mute when she needs to say something. And I like what Simone said last week. She said, when she told Jackie in her confessional, "It's too late. You always want to chime in the ninth inning. It's too late." Exactly. So she was like, Toya said, Dr. Jackie, she sides with Heavenly more. And Carlos was like, "Well, why do you think that?" She was like, "For protection. Reality TV is hard, and Heavenly will fight. But if she like you, she will fight for you. And she fights for Dr. Jackie." So Carlos brings up Dr. Mimi and how he likes her for the show. Honey, Toya was correcting him like, "You mean Brandy. You mean Brandy. Don't you mean Brandy? You mean Brandy. You mean you like Brandy, right? Because you like Brandy." Carlos like, "Oh, okay. No, I was saying Mimi. She's good for TV. She's very opinionated." And so Toya was like, "Oh yeah, Brandy, she is a breath of fresh air and she keeps it real." Carlos was like, "Yeah, we need to go back to Dr. Mimi." So how he does it is he starts to praise Steve's good looks. "Oh, isn't Steve just gorgeous?" And so Toya was like, "And so is Eugene." Girl, a face that only a mother could love. He's extremely attractive. This is Carlos talking about Steve. And I'm like, he cool. He cool. He's not ugly, but he don't get me going. It's too light, but he's handsome. Okay, I'll give it to him. He's handsome, but okay. So Toya thinks Steve is good for the show, but not Mimi. I'm like, "How so, girl?" And she was like, "Mimi needs some work. She needs to work on things. Like, we want the truth from her. Have your own opinion and stop judging your friends." And so Toya's like, "She can't diagnose anyone unless they're sitting on her couch." And I'm like, "What, Toya? Ma'am, the girl is a psychiatrist. She's trained to diagnose people. What are you talking about? That's a profession. She can diagnose you without you having an appointment with her, Toya." Goodness gracious. So Mimi and Steve, they don't fool with Eugene and Toya. Mimi don't see it for Toya. She just hangs around Quad and Heavenly. And Mimi already got the click going, honey. The show is divided, honey. You hear me? It's divided, okay? And so they get into like, what does Steve do for work? And they're like, "I don't know. Do he work for her? Does he work for his wife?" So on to Angel, child. Oh, Angel is the best, honey. She's breathtaking. She knows TV. She is spicy and fun and she's pretty and she got a big old butt. Is it real? Is all I want to know. Is it real? Is it authentically real? Did she have that butt when she was on Basketball Wives? Can anybody answer that in the chat? So Toya likes to be around the more younger women because she said it's more fun. She said you get a different Toya when you're around, that young energy, And I'm like, yeah, but when you around them, you over there chastising them and they dates. You over there playing mother hen to them. Is that your idea of fun? Because Angel didn't think that was fun. And it didn't look good, Toya. So then Carlos wants to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman because that's what Angel called Simone. And so they look up the definition, and being a Proverbs woman, chapter 31, means you're virtuous, trustworthy. You earn your husband's confidence. You are strong and dignified. You're generous, wise, faithful to God. Toya says that's all her all day, yes, because she is too scared to go down to HELL. Okay. She says she used to be rebellious. She was a mess. She used to steal, and she put her mama through it all when she was young. She says she is also now a faithful friend, and she has friends in her friend group that go back 40 years. They go back to elementary school. One of them just turned 50 and they just left the DR and had a good time. And she'll be 50s. I guess her birthday is coming up in the spring. She's an Aries fire sign, right, y'all? And so Eugene is a Sagittarius. Am I speaking on him too soon? Well, here he come. So I want to just get into that. So I had looked up some things about Toya because she is a mess. So they say like an Aries woman is a vibrant, independent, and assertive fire sign ruled by Mars, often acted as a fearless, natural-born leader with a passionate, warrior-like spirit. She is characterized by her honesty, loyalty, and ambition. Yet she can be impatient, impulsive, and prone to aggression. She thrives on independence and direct communication while strongly disliking being controlled or waiting for others. So Toya's strengths could be highly independent, confident, courageous, and proactive. She is a trailblazer who is not afraid to take risks. Her weaknesses can be like she's overly aggressive, impatient, and quick to react, which may cause conflict or drive people away. Passion and like. She loves being in control, taking on challenges, and experiencing high energy activities. She values directness and honesty. Dislike. She despises being told what to do, waiting in line, or dealing with inefficiency and dishonesty. So, this has her down pat. Yeah. Aggressive. Yes, 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 yes. And they work because who she is compatible with, they say other fire signs, which would be Leo or Sag, or the air signs, which is with Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So she got her man. And it's like they are really picking this apart when she went off on him, which, that's what happens when you're on television. But let's not act like if you've been married, you're gonna flash. I mean, it happens, but we get into it. Let's get into it. Okay. So here come Mr. Eugene, child. He just got off the road coming from work. He got to drive 2.5 hours, child. So Los asks, who is a Proverbs 31 woman in the group? Heavenly. Toya's like, no, she is not trustworthy. Amen and amen. Simone, yes. Jackie, yes. Quad pending. Mimi, don't know. Brandy, yes. Angel, the jury is still out, but it's almost a yes. She's getting to know her. They just have not spent a lot of time together. So Carlos asked Eugene about Quad and King. And he's like, oh yeah, King is like my new friend. And King's opinion is he felt that the focus was off with him and Quad. Like you're supposed to establish a bond first with your person before you jump into a fertility journey with them, right? And so they didn't get to fall in love yet. He didn't get, that foundation that they need, because once you have a kid, the focus changes from you to the child. So you got to have that already to keep you going until the kid gets more independent, right? So Toya was wondering, like, how could King film when they weren't in a good place? She said she never did ask, but she wanted to know, like, why did he put his niece before hers, and his baby, if that's not really what he wanted? So I'm like, girl, for fame. Duh. Fame? Who don't want a piece of fame? So I was wondering, was Quad trying to get back at Dr. G? Like, is this show? Because you know how she was acting last season. Let's not act like she wasn't rubbing King in everybody's face, especially Gregory's and Sweet Tea. Just something I was thinking about, like, because even though, like, when she was married to Dr. G, she didn't want kids with him, which was weird, because why did you get married knowing that maybe you possibly wanted kids? But I do remember her not wanting kids. That's when she got those 2 dogs, and she started that dog clothing line that I guess it didn't pop off, but it was like, girl, how you gonna be married to this man and he looked like he want kids? Like, I don't get it. When you're single and you date and find someone who is single, and you guys are middle-aged, over 35, over 40, over 45, you need to talk about kids. This goes for Quad, Bose over there in Beverly Hills. Like, y'all need to discuss this. Oh, because some of this stuff could be avoided, is all I'm saying. So next is the Toya and Eugene fight at their house, child. Toya says, honey, that God told her Eugene was for her. That's her man. I brought him to you, and he's yours. Not perfect, but after 13 years of filming on this show, they don't even see the cameras. I'm like, you don't? Because it'd be a man with a big old camera all in your face. They be on left side, right side. I guess you get used to it, but I wouldn't say that you don't see them. Like, we see them. And so Toya said, honey, they used to fighting in front of their friends. They'll even make them choose who right, who wrong. And it's like, they had to grow to this. Like, they've been together almost 20 years, y'all. They had a lot of growing to do. She said she didn't mean to emasculate her husband, honey. She did confess that she needs more self-control. She knows she can be rude, blunt, and, she shoots from the hip, and she needs to stop doing that. But she said it comes from when she feels unheard, when she feels unheard. And at the party, she's used to having Eugene there at her command. He's, Eugene, go get this. Eugene, do this, do this. And now that he has to drive from his job, he wasn't there. So probably by the time the party started, Toya was probably stressed out. And now that you know that you need him so much when you want to do parties, and knowing that, he's not around, Toya, you might need to hire a party planner. You might have to do all that, So when she saw him sitting there looking at his, hanging out with the homies, and she need him and he didn't want to jump, it triggered her. And I'm like, no, you weren't triggered. You just spoiled. You know what it is? It's like, we gotta know the difference. Eugene has Toya spoiled, is what this is. And she goes into her childhood. So back when she grew up, I was raised that way too. Your mama had the last word, the only word, the first word, and you were unheard. You was to be quiet, and you took commands. Eugene was raised the same way. We did not have a voice until we got grown. So he understands her because he was raised that way too. So they mentioned that they are in counseling quite a bit, and they're working on their triggers. And I'm like, well, you have to work on your own. You know, don't put the trigger on your person. They got their own stuff they're dealing with. So Toya had asked Eugene, would you want me to tell them what one of my triggers is about you? And he was like, I don't know what you're going to tell them. And it's like, I don't like when he drinks a lot. And she said, because she doesn't want to look after him. Like, she wants him to be her protector at all times. She wants the soft life. She don't want to have to be strong with him. She wants to stay soft. She wants to be the woman, the lady, the wife. And I was like, is that it? Or is she kind of selfish? And like, you don't feel like, tell us more. Is he an evil? Does he get evil when he gets to drinking? Does he get, a little off the handle? Or do you not want to? Hold on, besties. Choking. Or do you not want to have to pull him up the stairs and put him in bed and put a blanket over him? Like, what is it you're trying to avoid? Okay. So, because we like Eugene, we can't see him being a sloppy drunk. I would love to see it, but I can't picture that. Okay. So she needs to work on her triggers. I'm like, you do, because that's not fair to Eugene that he has to carry your burdens. Carry your own burdens. So she mentions that Eugene gets defensive. Of course he does. When he has to deal with you and your tricks, that's your job. And I'm glad they're in therapy. I'm so glad. Even when it's the 18th hour, you need counseling. You have changed. Your person has changed. And you need the tools to understand and listen and learn. Marriage is not just, okay, we done, we good. No, it's consistently working. Marriage is a whole nother career. You know that when you get off your job, you got to come home and work again. So she now wants to figure out how to become a better person for herself, for Eugene, her pastor's wife. She made references to her because that woman is telling her, like, she needs to show up better on TV. You're doing too much, sis. And I'm sure we know by now that the people that we see on TV is more elevated, more amped up. I'm sure Toya is a good person. Just on TV, we don't want to see that. We want chaos, confusion, confrontation. That's what it's for. So Pastor Wife is like, girl, plus when you get 50, girl. So she wants to become better and be good TV at the same time. So Lowe's tells Toya, he was like, no shade, sis, but since we friends, let me tell you what you need to do. And I'm like, what you about to tell her in front of her husband? He was like, you need to manage your expression more, because this is a repeated cycle. And as a viewer, we all think it's about time that Eugene spoke up and stood up to you. And he asked, her opinion about it, because other women want Eugene. He was like, you are aware of that people want your husband. She like, yep, I know. And so he was like, Eugene, I hope you're not in them DMs. And he was looking like, huh? What? No, Eugene Eugene loves his wife, honey, but I ain't gonna put nothing past him, no. But Carlos was telling Toya, Eugene loves you. He works hard for you to give you this soft life. And to us, the viewer, you look ungrateful. And you take him for granted. Eugene was asked about her comment about his wang, his thing, his ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. And it was figuratively, but Heavenly is the one who ran with it, with her ignorant self. I said it. It is what it is. You don't know her. We're not doing that. Team me. Team God. Okay? And Heavenly's still running with it to this day. And so, she brought it up in that text message when Toya was simply asking who left a fake Balenciaga purse. I got it. And so Eugene is over it, but he likes to address it if it comes up. And so Toya says, well, in counseling, his feelings were hurt about it. He acting big and bad, but his feelings was hurt. It's embarrassing. If anything, it's embarrassing being attacked on TV by a woman when you can't clap back at her because you learned, you have to be a man, a gentleman, right? So in counseling, they're still working on what brings them stress to their lives, about the show, the kids, work, social media, and so Toya understands she lost her fans when she flipped out on Eugene, and, apologetic, but it was a real human moment. She messed up and she taking full accountability about it. Yep, I messed up and I'm working to not do that again. She said, I need self control. Good. So Carlos was like, Eugene, your eyes light up when you see Toya. You're like, what do you think about your wife? He was like, she's attractive, smart, a good mother. I like outspoken women. Like some don't, but I like opinion. I like outspokenness. Check me, boo. He said she's a complete package for him. She's caring and a great friend. And he likes her overboardness. He understands her, so it works for them. But they working, at that 20%. And so Carlos was like, well, that's good because y'all got that 80%. Remember Tyler Perry told us about the 80-20? So they clearly have the 80%. But being on television heightens their 20%, and it makes things extreme, right? They've been getting along all this time, and now we all, got her on we got her on the on the cross behind. She said some things, what did she came for his manhood and all that, and she was just stressed. She just want her man at home, and he don't be at home because she want all these things, and he go get them for her. She's just spoiled rotten. So they say the 20% is very extreme, but they said like if they were not on TV, first of all, Eugene said half the people that was invited wouldn't have been there. I said Heavenly, Mimi, but being on TV heightens who you are. And so Carlos said he understands that. He said, I'm not the same person I am on with this microphone versus going out to eat and hanging out. Of course not. You don't need to be all amped up. And you share your space with your friends. Toya talks about the list that she wrote, of her wanting a man, what she wanted in a man. To this day, she still has that list in her Bible. And what is on there, someone told her to write down what she wants and don't be petty about it. And so she wrote provider, a good father, trustworthy because she has trust issues. She wants her man to be sensitive towards her, but strong to others. And she wants him to be consistent. I was like, this is very good. And, Toya was okay with being single. She had her job, her place, her freedom. Life was good. She wasn't tripping. But she said she did want to be married by 30. And if not, she was okay with that. And she said if she did not get married at 30, she would pray and ask God to take the wanting to be married out of her. And God blessed her with Eugene, and they got married when she was 30. And so Toya says she recognizes her blessings. Don't get it twisted. She knows she know what she got. She knows she got a good thing. She could get any house she wants. We know that, Toya. We know that. Poor Eugene. She get any car she wants, vacation. The kids good, she good. She says she is, although she is still a work in progress. And so then the doctor tells us that people who are getting divorced in their late 30s, 40s, late 40s, and all that, it's because in your late 30s, you lose testosterone and you're not yourself. You're angry, you're frustrated, ticked off, stressed out. So he got his levels together now that he's into wellness, right? So he got his levels together. He's much happier now. And so now he's teaching men that that's what's wrong. And he wishes like even his parents had that been identified then his parents would probably still be married. And so this is pretty much equivalent to women and their hormones when they're off because of menopause. So very interesting point. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I just want to throw that out there to you guys because I reviewed the show. I recap Married to Medicine. So I just want to give y'all a little gem on what's going on. But besties, that was the end of the interview. Tell me what you think. What you think? You still like Toya? Are you giving her a pass? I believe she was held accountable. She knew she was wrong. She failed her fans, the viewers, and they in counseling. And good for them. I want them to work. I want them to last. We need Toya and Eugene to stay together. They seem like they just authentically get along. They are real friends. He's patient. She's loving. She loving boys. She love her man. She over there rubbing on his thigh. I love, and I love black love. Happy Black History Month, besties. Bye, besties. Oh, just a reminder, y'all, the Super Bowl is tomorrow. There will be no Married to Medicine and no Real Housewives of Potomac. Enjoy. I know I am. I got to go here and go pick up some food for tomorrow. We're barbecuing, and I want to grill some squash, some asparagus, zucchini, corn on the cob, mushrooms, onions. We about to have it going on, but we got to keep it healthy. Salmon, some chicken. Somebody said steak. I was like, we should leave that alone. But anyway, little potato salad, chips and dip, little wine. Make it happy. We're going to have a good time. Besties, I will see y'all. Oh, goodness, child. Salt Lake City not coming on no more. Ooh, I'm not going to hear. Y'all not going to hear from me until next Thursday? Oh, goodness, besties. Oh, something better happen where I got to come back on. I'm going to miss y'all. I'll be back, besties. Bye, besties.